In election season, some say that three-time Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit, is facing possibly her toughest election. This time facing challenges not just from the BJP, whose candidate is Dr. Harshvardhan, but also from the Aadmi party's Arvind Kejriwal, who many opinion polls are tipping to be a preferred choice for Chief Minister. In many ways, what happens in Delhi could set the mood for what is happening across India for the general election of 2014. Is Sheila Dikshit facing her toughest electoral and political challenge yet? Well, she's with us here in the studio to take questions from ordinary residents of Delhi, from eminent voices, as well as your questions on Twitter. You can use the hashtag #AskSheila and send your questions. We'll pick them and put them to the Chief Minister, who's our guest here in the studio on our first episode of Election Nama here on the Buck Stops. Sheila Dikshit, pleasure to have you with us here on Election Nama on the Buck Stops here. You're smiling, and that is your persona. It's your preferred persona. It's not the aggression that some politicians employ during election season. But can you afford that smile? Because many people believe, many political observers, many pollsters, that this is not going to be an easy election for you, is it?
No election is easy. And why shouldn't I smile?
What if you lose?
No. Whether we win or we lose, I think the smile should remain there on everybody's face. It is a tough election because it's like any other election. My first was a tough election. I was new to Delhi. My second was a tough, that was anti-incumbency. My third was absolutely tough because they said, how can anybody win 3 times in Delhi? And now it's the 4th time.
3 times is you and Narendra Modi. You have that in common.
Where is Narendra Modi? Is Narendra Modi wanting to become the Chief Minister of Delhi?
He is wanting to become the Prime Minister of India.
Sure, he has his ambitions. Fair enough. Congrats to him. And but first let his party win. That when his party wins, then he'll become the Chief Minister or Prime Minister or whatever he wants. But people keep asking me this question. I ask a simple question to you and to Narendra Modi, to whoever is there in his party. Is he aspiring to be the Chief Minister of Delhi?
Why do you ask that question? It's quite clear. He's the prime ministerial candidate of the
NDTV.
NDA. Some would say you're getting nervous about the posters of Narendra Modi plastered all over the capital city.
Who said this?
Then why are you saying does he want to be the Chief Minister?
No, does he? Everybody's frightening me, trying to frighten me, that see, Narendra Modi is there, so your battle is half lost or damaged or whatever. I don't believe that.
Are you saying that in Delhi, which is primarily an urban constituency as it were, and it's really in urban India in many ways, that we do have an anecdotal and a palpable sense of Narendra Modi making an impact? Are you saying, Sheila Dikshit, that Narendra Modi will have no impact on the Delhi elections, will have no impact on the BJP's campaign?
No, I don't see it here. People, when they vote for this election on the 4th of December, are going to look for a government which will run Delhi. When they vote in 2014, then they will look for a government or vote for a government which India should have.
So one has nothing to do with the other, according to you.
So please don't underestimate the intelligence of the people. You just call this an urban city. This urban city knows.
Let me ask you this though. What is Arvind Kejriwal to you? You've just said Narendra Modi is not my problem here in this assembly election of Delhi. What is Arvind Kejriwal to you? Do you see him as one of the 2 main rivals, one of your 2 main challengers, or do you see the primary challenge coming to you from Dr. Harshvardhan?
Barkhaji, I would rather not comment on him.
Are you going to pretend he doesn't exist?
No, I'm not pretending anything. I know he exists. I'm only facing a reality. We are fighting a political battle. Please remember.
He's fighting elections as well. And opinion polls have said, many opinion polls have said that he's the preferred choice for Chief Minister.
Those are opinion polls which are their opinion. It may or may not be the opinion at the ground level, or at the people I meet, or my party's opinion or my opinion. So I'm not going to comment on somebody who has just come into the fray. Let's see what happens.
When you say that you would rather not comment on Arvind Kejriwal, what are we to read into that statement? It could be read in one of 2 ways. One is that you actually are a little nervous about Arvind Kejriwal and you don't want to go there?
No.
Or two is that you're saying he is not my rival, the BJP is. Which one are you saying?
Barkhaji, you're putting words into my mouth and I will not take them.
So which one
I
is
am
it?
not nervous of anything. I know I have to fight a battle. It's not the first battle that we are fighting. And as I have said, and I repeat with all the emphasis at my command, that we go into this battle with a 15-year record of good governance, which has made Delhi change, and it's for the people to decide.
Arvind Kejriwal, whom you do not want to comment on, has challenged you to a public debate along with the BJP. There's been a degree of confusion over whether you're willing to take part in this debate or not. Can you settle once and for all, what is your position? Is Sheila Dikshit nervous about debating the BJP and the Aadmi Party?
Why are you insisting I'm nervous? When I'm insisting, I'm not. I'm
you?
facing an election like we have done several times, and I'm facing it with confidence, not with nervousness.
So are you open to a public debate of the kind that we see, for example, in the United States of America?
Well, if something like that happens in India, the kind of debate that you have, what is it going to be about, what is going to be the format, where is it going to be? Like, for instance, I was told by the newspapers, I read in the newspaper, that he had challenged me and asked me, invited me to a debate. I never got that letter.
But he wrote a letter to you that's available in the public domain. In fact, I have a copy of it here with me.
I'm sure you have it. I haven't got it.
You never received the letter?
Never.
You think people in your office didn't pass it on to you?
I don't know that. But
because that letter is here.
No, that was meant for the public domain. So it went to the public domain. It hasn't come to me.
So when you say you want more details on what kind of debate, where will it be, who will conduct it, these are all matters of detail. In principle, are you willing to debate him and Harshvardhan?
There is no principle on a public debate. It depends on the kind of debate. I have come to your program after you told me what it was about. I get so many offers, I pick and choose. So let me pick and choose this also.
Let me ask you this. After 3 tenures in office, I'm sure you will have a long list of achievements that you take into your public rallies, into your meetings with your voters or your potential voters or even your critics. But when you evaluate yourself, I'm sure there are things that you regret, that you are disappointed with when you do your own report card, when you do your own introspection. After 15 years in power, what is the downside that you face today about your own performance?
The only downside I face is that there's much more to do. What we have achieved in 15 years is by itself a record and historical. And we've achieved it when Delhi does not have the kind of statehood that other states are. It's a union territory, right under the central government. We don't have those kind of freedoms and powers that other governments have. We've done well. There are no full stops in Delhi. Please remember that. There's more to do, much more to do.
Are there crises that you feel you could have handled better, mistakes that you made? Everybody makes mistakes. You're not infallible.
Yes. I don't say that. Of course we could have. We could have perhaps, done things a little faster. We could have done them better. We could have done them in a more modern way, in a neater way.
Narendra Modi called you a ribbon cutter, a ribbon cutting chief minister.
Yes. What did he mean by that? Ask him.
That you begin projects but don't complete them is what I understood.
Has he seen them? Oh, ribbons are only cut when a project is made, not before a project. Before you start a project, you probably laid a foundation stone, not a ribbon.
Do you have no regrets about your 15 years in power? Anything that you believe when you look back at it, you feel guilty or you feel disappointed or you feel angry with yourself?
I don't feel guilty. I've tried my best. I may not always have succeeded, but I personally have tried my best, and because Delhi is a passion with me. I've grown up here, I've been educated here, I've been married here, etc., etc. So if I can make Delhi look better, it's like somebody making their house look better.
Okay, I'm going to start taking questions, and of course what's really top on the mind of the people of Delhi is food inflation. And the fact of the matter is, ma'am, that you and I can pretend that it really hits us, but it doesn't hit us in the same way that it hits many ordinary households, many lower income households. You look at the prices of tomatoes and onions and potatoes, and today's prices, they're at 80 rupees a kilo for tomatoes, 80 rupees a kilo for onions. It's a shocking level of
80 rupees for
onions. This is the
I
figure
don't know
I
where
have.
you get your figures from. No, I'm
this
sorry.
This is the figure I have for onions. Amar Colony 80 rupees, Kailash Colony 70 to 80 rupees.
Well, you've taken on colonies which are really posh, where people just don't even ask for it. No, We have made interventions, and the price of onions today across Delhi, I won't say a particular colony or a particular this thing, they're about 50 to 55, 60 rupees, depending also on the
and
quality.
Tomatoes at 80 rupees.
Tomatoes are, yes, certainly they are, but this happens every year. It happens every year when one season vegetables are changing to the next season, and when tomatoes start coming in a week, 10 days time, it will all come down.
The price of onions cost Sushma Swaraj Delhi election. She says today that it could cost you this election.
Dear, I want to tell you one thing. We have intervened in the market to bring the price of onions. It's price of onions when we started this intervention was 83 rupees a kilo average across the country. Delhi is not a farm producing area. We import everything. There were rains, we couldn't get potatoes from Alwar, we couldn't get them from Nasik, we couldn't get them from Gujarat and Andhra and all these places, Orissa and Andhra, because there was a storm there. There was a lot of this thing, but as a government, we felt it our duty to intervene, and we did. And therefore, I said, and I repeat, that when all across the country, the average price of onions was 83 rupees, in Delhi it was 50 to 60 rupees, 55.
But you couldn't have cracked down on hoarders faster than you did,
yes,
because hoarding was taking up the prices.
Yes, no, we did crack down on them, but hoarding in Delhi is done by small people. There are no big.
So you're not worried that onions and tomatoes could cost you this election?
Of course I'm worried.
Could cost you this election?
But no, I'm not worried about that, and I will not worry about it, because I will do my best, what is possible within my powers, and as a trading and a consuming state or city, whatever you want to call it, and I'm not going to be worried, because I am going to try and give relief to the people.